Hello everybody, thanks for coming and sorry for the delay. I think we've just experienced an important event this morning. I will read out a statement coming from our office, which will also be issued officially via our website and via email. The prosecutor of the International Criminal Tribunal Mr. Brammertz welcomes the arrest today of Goran Hadžić by the Serbian authorities. Today marks the arrest of the last fugitive remaining at large out of 161 persons indicted by the tribunal. Mr. Hadžić has been a fugitive since July 2004, when the indictment charging him with crimes against humanity and violations of the laws or customs of war committed in Croatia was made public. Arrangements for his transfer into the tribunal's custody are underway, and he is expected to arrive in The Hague shortly. In relation to the arrest, I'm quoting what Mr. Brammertz has said. He welcomes the arrest today of Goran Hadžić, the wartime Bosnian Serb political leader of the self-proclaimed Republic of Serbian Krajina. Hadžić's transfer into the tribunal's custody is a long-awaited development for the victims of the crimes charged against him. It is also an important milestone in the tribunal's history. 18 years after the tribunal's creation, we can now say that no indicted person has successfully evaded the tribunal's judicial process. This is a precedent of enduring significance, not only for the tribunal, but also for international criminal justice more generally. In this arrest, we recognize the role of the Serbian authorities in apprehending Goran Hadžić, particularly the action team that's in charge of locating and arresting the tribunal's fugitives, and the National Security Council. We also acknowledge the role played by the services who carried out the arrest operation. The international community too has played a role in supporting measures to secure the arrest of Hadžić, and we express our gratitude for the support we have received. Goran Hadžić has been apprehended less than 2 months after the arrest of wartime Bosnian Serb military leader Ratko Mladić. These combined events mark a long-awaited step forward in Serbia's cooperation with the tribunal and the Office of the Prosecutor. Serbia has now produced visible evidence that cooperation with the tribunal is not an empty promise, but a genuine commitment, and we look forward to Serbia's assistance with our ongoing work. In the weeks and months ahead, we will continue to ask Serbia and all states of the former Yugoslavia to support our cases by providing access to archives and documents and witnesses. As we pause to reflect on the significance of Hadžić's arrest for the tribunal, we are mindful that the tribunal is part of a much broader process for establishing accountability for atrocities committed during the wars in the former Yugoslavia. The victims of thousands of other crimes are still waiting for justice. The prosecution of war crimes in national proceedings remains a critical challenge for the region and its people. The tribunal and the Office of the Prosecutor will continue to use its best efforts to assist the fight against impunity in the former Yugoslavia by providing national prosecutors with information, evidence, and expertise. The international community also has a key role to play in ensuring that national prosecutions can successfully take over the tribunal's work in establishing accountability for the atrocities committed. With Hadžić's arrest, we take solace in the knowledge that the tribunal can now complete its work. But to ensure full accountability for the atrocities committed during the war in the former Yugoslavia, we must also redouble our commitment to supporting remaining national prosecutions. Thank you.
Thank you, Fred. Good afternoon. The Tribunal would like to join the Office of the Prosecutor in welcoming today's arrest of Goran Hadžić, our last remaining fugitive. Hadžić's arrest is indeed another milestone in the Tribunal's history and brings this institution one step closer to the successful completion of its mandate. His initial appearance will be announced shortly after the accused has been transferred to the tribunal's custody. On to other developments this week. The appeals chamber yesterday affirmed Florence Hartman's conviction for contempt of court and upheld the imposition of a fine of €7,000. Hartman, who was the former spokesperson for the Office of the Prosecutor, was found guilty on 14th of September 2009 of disclosing the contents, purport, effect, and confidential nature of 2 appeals chamber decisions from the Prosecutor versus Slobodan Milošević case in a book and article authored by her in 2007 and 2008. A full copy of the appeals judgment is now available online. And last Friday, the tribunal's president, Judge Patrick Robinson, denied Milomir Stakic's request for sentence remission. Milomir Stakić, who was the former mayor of Prijedor, was transferred in 2007 to France, where he is currently serving his sentence of 40 years imprisonment for his responsibility in exterminating, murdering, and persecuting Bosnian Muslims and Bosnian Croats in Prijedor in 1992. In denying his request, the president noted the very high gravity of Stakic's crimes, as well as his very limited demonstration of rehabilitation, including the fact that he did not avow the deeds for which he is incarcerated. It is the practice of the tribunal to consider the eligibility of a convicted person for early release only after he has served 2/3 of a sentence. The president noted that Stakić will have served 2/3 of his sentence on approximately 15th of November 2027. And turning now to the courtroom schedule, a status conference in the case of Ratko Mladić has been scheduled for 25th of August 2011 at 2:15 in courtroom 1. And hearings in the cases of Radovan Karadžić, Mićo Stanšić, Stan Župljanin, Jovica Stanšić, and Franko Simatović, as well as Zdravko Talimir, continue as scheduled. In the Karadžić case, the trial chamber is currently hearing the testimony of the prosecution witness and military expert Reinhold Thunens. This is his 7th testimony before the tribunal and relates to the composition and command structures of the Serb military forces involved in the operations detailed in Karadžić's indictment. In the trial of Jovica Stanšić and Franko Simatović, the chamber is currently hearing the testimony of defense witness who is protected, and he is the 6th witness in Stanšić's defense case. In the Talimir case, prosecution witness Richard Butler, military expert, will resume his testimony this afternoon. And proceedings in the Stanšić and Župljanin have adjourned this morning and will resume on Monday, 5th of September. Goran Mačar was the last witness to be called by Mićo Stanšić's defense, and proceedings will resume with the start of Stan Župljanin's defense case in September. Please note that the tribunal's third 3-week-long recess will start as of next Monday, 25th of July. Hearings will resume on Monday, 15th of August, but do note that hearings may take place during recess, and the media will be notified should this be the case. The first week back from recess will see the start of retrial in the Haradinaj and others case on 18th of August 2011. And the next regular press briefing, is scheduled for 17th of August. Turning now to questions.
Fred, you said that you were expecting the Mladić to be shortly transferred to The Hague. Can you define shortly?
I think the regular procedure is applicable and with arrests will be followed. There's a judicial process in Serbia. I hear that Prosecutor Vukčević will make an announcement in a few minutes. We will hear more. But it has to go through a normal judicial process. Remember, with Karadžić and Mladić, it was quite quick, the transfer. So
7 to 10 days.
I think it could take as long, yeah.
I wonder if you could update us on the search for a lead counsel for Ratko Mladić. It's my understanding that the 2 lawyers who were mentioned by the accused in the last public hearing are not eligible for that function, and consultations are ongoing. Has that led to any results yet?
No results yet that can be made available to public. However, the registry continues communicating with the accused as well as his preferred counsel, legal representatives, and continues facilitating meetings between him and those 2 persons. No decision of appointment has been made as yet, and once that has been done, it will be made publicly available.
So you're still working on the remaining 5 names of the list of 7, some of which are eligible to be lead counsel.
It is my understanding that last time you were informed that the accused has said that of the 7 names that he originally submitted, there are only 2 that he prefers for consideration at this moment. The registry has continued since that time, facilitating meetings between the 2 of them and explaining both to the accused and the counsel or the proposed counsel the rules and the requirements that need to be met before somebody is appointed. As I said, nobody has been appointed yet, and I will not be speculating about the proceedings, apart from just to confirm again that this is something that is going on the daily basis, and the registry is doing its best to have the decision made as soon as possible.
What if it's not cleared before 25 August?
Well, I wouldn't speculate what will happen if it's not clear by the 25th of August, but certainly the extended deadline that was given by the registry is something that we are looking to meet.
But on August 25, he will be back here.
He will be back, but I wouldn't expect at this stage that there will not be a resolution or further development between now and then. You must understand that it isn't only up to the registry to make this decision by itself. This is something that has to be done in concert with the accused as well. So we are trying to find a solution which is acceptable to both, but in accordance with the rules that are governing this procedure.
But could it be that on August 25 we will have a...
I will absolutely not speculate on that, as I said 3 times.
Well, something different, one hypothetical questions. I'm just curious, if someone which is sentenced to pay you a fine refused to do so, how you calculate the numbers of day, numbers of months or years of the day he will serve in the prison, depending on the fine. What is the price of one, let's say, prison day?
That hasn't been. I don't think that.
As I said, this is hypothetical question.
I know, it's
let's
very
suppose
hypothetical.
Somebody was fined with 7,000 euro. Let's just, for example, And if you refuse, how many days, months, or years of prison is that?
I think your question is very hypothetical, but obviously relates to the case of and the judgment in the Florence Hartman, which was issued yesterday. And all I can say at this moment is that the registry has been instructed by the judges to communicate with Ms. Hartman and her defense counsel in terms of ensuring that the payment has been made. You are aware that previous contempt judgments, which were in form of a fine rather than a prison sentence, the last one being against the Kosovo-Albanian journalist Hadžiu, resulted in the payment of the fine. So the hypothetical situation that you are giving to me, I'm not sure that that would even be the case. So it is asking for an extreme level of speculation on my behalf, which I'm at this stage unable to say.
If somebody refused to pay the fine, what happens then?
If the registry is unable to ensure the payment of the fine, it would inform the appeals chamber, which ordered the payment of the fine, and it would be up to them to decide what the next instruction would be. So that's why I'm unable to tell you what the next instruction would be if this was the case.
No, because I know in the law of former Yugoslavia, it was already clear that every let's say 1,000 of dinars or dollars or whatever means 1 or 2 days in the prison if they are not paying.
We don't have such a specific provision in our rule.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much.